This is the story of a young girl who grew up dreaming of love, who became a princess before the eyes of the world, and who, through pain, courage, and compassion, became something far greater than royalty. She became a symbol of humanity. This is the story of Princess Diana. On July 1st, 1961, in England, a baby girl was born into the Spencer family. Her name was Diana Frances Spencer. From the outside, her life appeared comfortable, even privileged, but behind the doors of her home, there was tension, silence, and emotional distance. Her parents' marriage was deeply troubled, arguments were common, and love seemed to fade quickly. Eventually, they separated, and for young Diana, this moment left a scar that would stay with her for life. She was only a child, but she felt everything deeply. She became quiet, sensitive, often lost in her own thoughts. She longed for affection, for stability, for a kind of love she had not experienced fully in her early years. As time passed, Diana grew into a kind-hearted and gentle young woman. She was not interested in fame or power. She worked as a nursery teacher, caring for children, playing with them, laughing with them, finding joy in simple moments. She was just a normal girl, living a simple life. But destiny had other plans. In the late 1970s, Diana was introduced to Prince Charles, the heir to the British throne. At first, their connection seemed innocent, almost distant, but soon, it became something the media could not ignore. The world began to watch. In 1981, the announcement came. Diana and Charles were to be married. What followed was one of the most watched weddings in history. At St. Paul's Cathedral, Diana walked down the aisle in a stunning white gown, watched by millions across the globe. It felt like a dream. A young, shy girl, becoming a princess. But behind the fairy tale, reality was waiting. After the wedding, Diana entered a world that was rigid, formal, and emotionally distant. Royal life came. But even in her darkest moments, something inside her refused to break. Instead, she transformed. Diana found her purpose not in the palace, but in the people. She began visiting hospitals, sitting beside patients, holding their hands, speaking to them with kindness and warmth. She did not act like a royal figure above them, she acted like a human being among them. And people noticed. At a time when fear surrounded AIDS, when people believed it could spread through touch, Diana did something powerful. She reached out and held the hand of an AIDS patient, without gloves, without fear. It was a simple gesture, but it changed the world. It broke stigma. It sent a message that compassion is stronger than fear. From that moment, she was no longer just a princess. She became the people's princess. Diana continued her humanitarian work with passion. She supported charities, visited orphanages, and spent time with the sick and vulnerable. One of her most impactful efforts was raising awareness about landmines. She walked through dangerous areas, speaking to survivors, bringing global attention to a crisis many had ignored. She used her voice, her influence, her presence, not for personal gain, but to bring light to those living in darkness. Meanwhile, her personal life continued to face challenges. Her relationship with Prince Charles became increasingly strained. The distance between them grew, and the pressures of public life only made things worse. Eventually, in 1996, their divorce was finalized. It was a difficult chapter, but it was also a new beginning. Diana stepped into a new phase of her life, one where she defined herself, not by her title, but by her actions. She became independent, focused, and stronger than ever before. She continued her humanitarian work, now with even more freedom. She connected with people across the world, not as a royal figure, but as a compassionate soul. Her smile still lit up rooms, but now it carried depth. She showed that even in a life filled with challenges, you can choose kindness. And that is why her name is still remembered. Not because she wore a crown, but because she carried a heart that beat for others. Princess Diana. A woman of grace, of courage, of love. A woman who turned pain into purpose. A woman who became more than a princess. She became a symbol. and symbols never fade. Her story is not just history. It is a reminder that in a world full of noise, one voice of kindness can echo forever. And that one life, lived with compassion, can change millions. Princess Diana will always be remembered, not just as a royal figure, but as a light that touched the world. And lights like that never truly go out.